Okay, welcome to the Task 1 peer review for the AAPTEL. In looking at your peer reviews for mine, there were a couple of things that I wanted to ask about. Jeff, in yours you said that I needed to describe the purpose of the PLC before I mentioned the members.
Did I? I don't remember saying that. Is that for the AAPTEL or the AAPTEL?
I pulled it up off of the AAPTEL one.
This sent you the long run. I don't know. I don't remember saying that one. I might have sent you the wrong one. I don't know.
Okay, then it makes more sense. You know, the copy here doesn't say AAPTEL or AAPTEL.
Yeah, that sounds like the wrong one. I don't remember saying that one and that one.
Okay, well,
I need to go back in and reorganize my folders because I make sure I put the right files up.
Let's see. I think though at the bottom it mentions the bibliography.
Unless I got two mixed up, I don't know.
You know what? I may have. I have emailed it to myself so that I forgot to run paper copies. So I may have emailed the wrong one. So
okay,
that may be on mine. So if you remember something that you said.
I think on yours I liked pretty well. I said I think I know I put something on there that I'm sure there's some minor mistakes that I missed.
I remember something about maybe a question mark or something. I must have said the wrong one to myself. So I'll go back and look at that again.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask about, and I looked at some of the other folks, is whether or not it's supposed to look like an annotated bibliography or not. And I went back and looked at the one she talked about Tuesday night on homework that's in our textbook. And it doesn't appear like a bibliography. So I'm just wondering, I saw lots of them when I looked through. Most people did them as an annotated bibliography. And I
was watching the recording from the class on Tuesday, and it sounds like, and you know, I also found a good website that explains the difference between the bibliography and the literature review. I'll send that link to y'all.
Okay.
But basically what I think after watching that, the class on Tuesday, I think what you're expected to do is we're supposed to do the bibliography first as kind of like our starting point, and then we're supposed to write a literature review of that kind of addresses all of the points in the rubric, and use what we found from the annotated bibliography to analyze it, and then you know, include your internal citations and then just list them at the end in your resources.
Right, but the setup does not appear like the bibliography.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to go back and change mine. It's more of the way I've done it is the bibliography is more of a, you know, discussing the information that the author has written, and the literature review seems kind of more formal,
right,
than the bibliography.
Yeah, the bibliography is sort of like almost a brainstorming activity, and basically put it together before you write it together in the paper. I saw lots of them, and mine wasn't. I was kind of nervous, and then after Tuesday night, I wondered if we just had a lot of misinterpretation of what that was.
Yeah, so I'll send this link to y'all. It was pretty helpful. It tells you the purpose of each one and the structure of each one and the components of each one. That might help y'all.
Okay. Yeah. And Graham, the rest of your review of mine, I feel good. I'll go back in and fix the little mechanics type things. The checklist was the other place that I had a question. And I know the two of you had, extensive checklists, and I thought mine was really kind of short. I tried to get it where it would fit almost on one sheet of paper, front and back maybe.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what your thoughts were on that, because both of you went into a lot more depth with that checklist. I sort of looked at each one of the little 5 categories, and come up with something where you could just walk through a classroom in a few minutes and pick up on it.
Yeah, the way I have mine set up, I used all of the 9 Marzano, all the categories for Marzano, and I need to clarify this when I go back and edit my paper, I think, but the intent, I think, is to focus on one area for a walkthrough. So the idea is that as an administrator, you're visible in the classroom often, and that sets the tone of what's the word I'm looking for? The tone of, less intrusive when the administrator comes in for a walkthrough, and less intimidating, I guess, the more you're in there. So the idea would be you've got each of these 9 categories, but you don't look for all 9 of those in every walkthrough. So you focus on one area for your walkthrough and then look for a different one the next time you're in there.
Right.
So that's kind of the idea behind mine.
I saw yours. I was like, my goodness, they'd have to spend some time, to actually
I need to
all of those things.
describe
And
that better.
yours as well. So, and maybe that was the thinking on your part. So you just sort of pick a focus.
I just used the one that we use at our school in general. That the department heads, we as department heads, I'm a department head too. I had a plan in it too. That we came up with the administration team to do for walkthroughs, and administrators. That's the one the administrator has us do when we do walkthroughs in the classrooms. And they expect us to be in there almost, half the class period. So that's why mine is so extensive.
Okay.
And that's why I scanned mine in, because it was already done up on a form.
Yeah.
I just scanned it onto the paper. So.
Okay. All right. Well, those were the things that I had for mine, and Jeff, I apologize that I've loaded the wrong one for myself to look at, but I did read the one off of.
And I'll check to make sure I didn't send you the wrong one, because I thought I sent you the wrong one. I'll go double check. I got my flash drive in the other room, so I'll look to make sure.
Okay. All right.
So with mine, I think what you pointed out, Kim, is kind of what we've already talked about, the structure, and that's something that I was kind of teetering on. I didn't really know which side, if we were supposed to format it like the bibliography or format it in a more formal way. So that was something I had planned to email her about, but she answered it in the class. So that's on my to-do list tomorrow, is to fix that and get it formatted correctly. And then let's see what else I saw. The references, I'm bad about doing that. I think y'all have to put that in my reviews every time. I always put the author date in parentheses, and then so I'll go back and fix it, and then I forget to go back
and forget what. That was the only one I saw, so you did.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit better, maybe. Let me see here. And then the idea of thoroughly using the sources, I think that's right. I've got a lot more. In the video, in the Tuesday's class, she kind of talked about getting all of your sources and then sifting through them to see which ones are useful and which ones are connected to actually what you're supposed to be writing about. So I think that's something that I'm going to focus on as I rewrite it or edit it.
My clinical coach told us that if we wanted to aim for a 4, that we need to use three sources in each one of those sections. So, and then that's why I marked that just in case. I mean, the sources you had were great. I think there may have been one where the 3 of us, 2 of us, it might have been me and you, Jeff, that actually overlapped on one, had picked up the same one. So it was good to see that a variety of things.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Looking at the one that Jeff did. Yeah, that's you commented a couple times about the no date for the references. That's one that some of these references that I found had very little information about the
I didn't know if it was supposed to be capitalized or not. That's why I put it in there. So I don't know if the ND was supposed to be capitalized or.
Yeah, I don't really know. I'll have to look that up when I'm going back over that, but that's something I'll check out.
Okay. Jeff, what'd you think?
All right. And then with mine, yeah, minor mistakes that I had to go back and check, which I did. The checklist, we already talked about it. Bram wanted to know where it came from because it was scanned in. I scanned it in because that's one we just use at school.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we made it up at school, so it was just easier to scan it through. And Kim mentioned it was kind of complicated to be effective. You know, that's what we use at school. That's why I use it. Like I said, why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, I think, and I don't remember exactly, but I think I'd mentioned that. So it doesn't look like you just copied one somewhere.
Yeah. And I don't know what happened to the indentation because when I went through it before I sent it, everything was indented. But I guess when I sent it, it got reformatted somehow. So I'll go back and check that.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot.
Yeah, and the italics, I knew when I typed it in, I was like, I need to go back and change these, and I just sent it without changing them. So I have to go back and do the italics in the journal entry. So
okay. Yeah, I don't want us to get caught up losing points on any of those little kind of mechanic type.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and like you said, I just had to meet with my clinical coach this morning too, and he said just send everything before I even submit it on Blackboard through the class. He told me to submit it to him first, let him look at it, and we submit it on Blackboard. So.
Right, and I like the fact that Dr. Todd's going to take a look at it right away and give us some feedback as well.
I do too.
Like
She's been very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very concise and organized.
To read all of them. Okay, well, anybody have any other questions on what we had to say or what we need to do to fix it? Anybody started on task 2? I know the recording's on. We'll all say yes. And
yeah, working on it.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm working on it.
Yeah, there we go. It's
in the planning stages.
Yeah, getting there.
Okay, well, if we don't have anything else, then we'll wait and get together for task 2. I did reread on that assignment page. It's 2 different ways. The original syllabus had it with a Zoom conference. She went in and made some changes, and the second one does not. So I think we're okay at just answering those questions.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all have a good evening.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.